Hey guys, Mr. here again for another video today, and we are back with our Tampa Bay Lightning, or our Drafted Glory franchise mode. And in this one we are going to sim through what I believe to be year number 6, which is quite crazy to see now. Like I said, I'm not too sure about that, so let's go look at Drouin's stats. So we played 17-18, 18-19, 19-20, 20-21, 21-22, 22-23. Yeah, so we are on year number 6. So those are the preseason stats. I simmed the preseason. I will show you guys that in just a second. So yeah, we are now in what I believe to be our 6th season as a team in this franchise mode. And it's been a pretty good series so far, I might say. I think it's been pretty damn good. I think this is a really good team, and I'm telling you, once we get that starting goaltender, I feel like we could compete for Stanley Cups every year. Now, I'm excited to see how we do this year against Florida. Will we be able to make the playoffs again? Will we be able to say we do make the playoffs? Will we be able to face the Panthers again in the playoffs? Will we be able to get over them this time as well? It is two things I want to see for this season. Now, we're going to go through the whole season in just a moment, but first off, we're going to start off with our top line this year of Todd Jaspers with Jonathan Drouin and Vladislav Nemesnikov. So a pretty damn solid top line if you ask me. I'm pretty excited to see how that line does this season. Last season, Nemesnikov had 79 points, Drouin had 81 points, and Jaspers had 80 points. So Jaspers also hit 30 goals. So like I said, I'm pretty damn excited to see how that top line does. Second line this season, we have Tyson Cullimore. After having a pretty solid rookie season last year, just 1 point shy of 40 points. This year I have hopes for him to hit 50 points, see if he can surpass the 20-goal mark as well. He took 122 shots last year, and that was on the third line, only playing 14.5 minutes, and all of that is penalty kill and just 5-on-5. And again, that's going to be the same case this year because I couldn't really fit him on the power play, I'm not going to lie. So yeah, 122 shots. I'd like to see him get more than that as well, but we'll see how he does on... How am I looking at points? Let's go back to Cullimore stats just so you can see. He's got a really good shot. If he's not a two-way forward, I could list him as a power forward or a sniper. Any of those three could be very good for him. But yeah, like I said, he'll be on that second line with Anthony Cirelli, who's very good at playmaking, so hopefully Cirelli can pass Cullimore the puck, and we'll see how that works out. And as well, I put Matthew Joseph on this line because he's got a decent offensive awareness, but he has really high offensive stats. Like if you look at his puck skills and his shooting, I feel like Matthew Joseph could put up a good amount of points with Cullimore and Cirelli. So yeah, 45 points for Joseph last year is a career high. I'd like to see him get higher than that. Cirelli, I'd like to see him surpass his 45-point total of last season. And Tyson Cullimore, like I said, I want him to surpass 40 points. I think this top line could put up this second line could put up a decent amount of points. As for our third line, we have Sniper Taylor Radish, who put up 24 goals last season. So the last 3 seasons, he's had over 20 goals in each. This year, I think, could be the same. He will be playing with two-way forward Brett Howden, which is interesting to see. He's got decent offensive and very good defensive stats, so we'll see how he does. But with the playmaker of Andre Palat, hopefully both them can feed the puck to Radish. And then on our fourth line, we have Lawrence Like, who is a rookie this season, and he did pretty good in the AHL, 43 points in his rookie season in the AHL, and then 54 points this past season as well. So, like I said, pretty good. Alexei Lipanov, actually, let's go back to Lawrence Like, just so you guys can look at his stats. Good offensive awareness, very good physical category. Instead of a playmaker, I feel power forward would be appropriate for him. As for Alexei Lipanov, we'll see how he does. Very high offensive awareness as well. And then playing with Richard Panik, who I would like to see around the 15 to 20 goal mark this season, playing on that fourth line. I think playing with two players with high offensive awareness would be very good for him. So that's our forward core this season. As for our defensive core, we've got a couple of rookies on the D core. Now, for the preseason one I had the lines like this. And I am tempted to do this because the morale system, I believe... no, the morale system isn't off. I was going to say I believe the morale system is off, but that's just not true. D'Angelo wouldn't complain about ice time. Well, he shouldn't, at least. Did he in the preseason? No, he didn't. So, I highly doubt he would. And the main reason why I want to do this is because then we'll have 3 lefties and 3 righties all playing in their natural position. Where if I had the lines like I normally would, we have Hedman and Merkley, who's a lefty and a righty. Then our second pair is 2 righties, and then our third pair is 2 lefties. So, we're going to stick like this. So, yeah, Pat Stillman. Actually, well, let's just start at this top pair. So, our top pair does not change. Still Victor Hedman, who's now 31, with Ryan Merkley, who is 22. Very excited to see, or very excited, I should say, to see how this line will do. Will one of these guys win the Norris? Speaking of which, I don't know if I looked at stats in the last season because Hedman was a Norris contender. So, I do need to look at that. So yeah, our second pair as of right now will be Pat Stillman, who didn't get a single point in the playoffs, but last season in the AHL he had 65 points, which is really good. Playing with Cal Foote, who this season I would like to see him break the 20-point mark, and if he can't do that with Stillman, I will obviously put D'Angelo back on that second pair. Now, as for Ronnie Woolley, he's a pretty damn solid defensive defenseman. He's not much of a point getter, although last season in the AHL he had 10 goals. And then Tony DeAngelo, of course, I'd like to see him hit around that 40-point mark again. But the thing is, like I said, I want to see Foote surpass 20 points this season, maybe with the high offensive awareness that Stillman does have at 91, which is obviously the same as Cal Foote's. Maybe that pair could put up a decent amount of points, but I feel like I'm going to end up falling back to DeAngelo and Foote at some point in the season. As for special teams, I'm going to go through them quickly. You guys can take a look at them on your own time, of course. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, that's not true. It's obviously a big deal, but like I said, I will show you guys it or you guys can stop and pause it on your own time. And as for the goaltenders, this season we have Connor Ingram as our starter once again. Now, he had a very poor preseason, and he played all 6 games of the preseason as well, which may be a mistake. I'm not sure. So yeah, he will hopefully have better stats than what he had last season. He is an overall higher than what he was last season. And Rodrigue did play in the preseason. He did not do very good at all. And as a backup last season, he didn't do that bad. I believe he was a 75 overall as well. So we'll see how those guys do this season. We don't have any scratch players. Let's go look at the AHL. So, our AHL team, we've got a top line of Zibanejad, Hentonen, and Teutin. Second line of Kosarenkov, Killorn, and Leonov. Third line of Ernie, Kachuk, and Gianta. Fourth line of Wolf, Volkov, and Connolly. Defensively, we have Quack with Chip Chura, then Valesi with Spencer, Bodie, and Pudinovs on the bottom pair, and our starter is Ronnie Thomas, who's up to a 77, should be ready for the NHL next season, which I'm excited to see, and then Shannon Cato backing him up, so I believe the same pair as last season. How did Thomas do last season? He did very good. Hopefully he can do the same, if not better, this season. Now, like I said, I do not remember ever checking the awards, guys, so let's go and do that really quickly, because if Hedman won the Norris, that would be awesome. So obviously the Stanley Cup went to the Florida Panthers for the second season in a row, so they've won back-to-back Stanley Cups. The President's Trophy curse continues again, and it has, I think, throughout this entire sim. Carolina won, they lost. New Jersey won, they lost. New York won, they lost. San Jose won, they lost. And New York won, they lost as well. So this season, it was San Jose making it to the final for the second time in the past 3 seasons to obviously play the Florida Panthers. Now for player awards, Steven Stamkos won the Art Ross this past season. Connor McDavid won the Hart Memorial. Norris went to Miro Heiskanen. So unfortunately, Hedman still hasn't gotten his Norris. Hopefully it'll happen at one point. Eli Tolvanen won the Lady Byng. I think it is Bob. Bob Hadar won the Calder. Conn Smythe to Eli Tolvanen. He just did absolutely amazing. Ilya Samsonov won the Vezina. He is very good in this sim. He also won the Jennings. Alright, Rasmus Anderson won the Bill Masterton. Ryan O'Reilly won the Selke for the second straight season. He's playing in San Jose now. Ted Lindsay went to Connor McDavid, and Alex Ovechkin with the Maurice Richard for the fourth time in the last 5 seasons. One thing I would like to do very quickly, I want to go check the Islanders just to see how many points did Heiskanen have. I believe that's who I thought was originally going to win it. Yeah, he had 69 points, but he had such a high plus-minus, even though I believe Hedman did have the most points as a defenseman. So, unfortunately, he didn't get his Norris, but hopefully he can get that this season. Now, I believe we are ready to go, guys. So, in the preseason, we went 6-1-0. The only loss was to, of course, the Florida Panthers, and we lost 8-3. So, we're going to sim to December. No, we're going to sim to the new year, and we will see how this team is performing. And I'm very curious as to see how our second and third pairs are doing, because if that is a problem, then I will obviously change them up. So we won the first game of the season, and it was our home opener against Buffalo. Not too bad. So, guys, let's get on the topic of Stanley Cup Finals, because obviously last night was game number 1. Well, I guess it depends on when I'm uploading this video. But Monday was game number 1 of the Stanley Cup Final, and it was a wild one. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to watch the entire thing, but I watched some of it, and like I said, it was an absolute crazy one. Speaking of absolutely crazy, we just lost 7-6 to Ottawa in a shootout. But yeah, like I said, just absolutely, or an absolute crazy game. Like, holy frig, there was 10 goals. Obviously, 9 of them were, I was going to say 5-on-5, but no, 9 of them were on goalies. The 10th was an empty netter, but still, just absolutely unreal how Vegas came back multiple times, how Washington came back multiple times. There were some wicked goals in the games as well. Carlson and Oshie's passing play, that was really nice. The one that led to Carlson's goal, that was really, really nice. Lars Eller fanned on a puck, or fanned on a shot, I should say, in the last 45 seconds of the game. He would have been able to tie the game and more than likely send game 1 to overtime. I'm sorry if you guys hear background noise. My mother is losing it upstairs. She is watching something, and she finds it very funny. I'm sure you guys can hear that. I am so sorry. That is awful. That is actually terrifying and honestly very embarrassing. I am sorry, guys. So, yeah, let me know, who do you guys think are going to win the Stanley Cup this season? Can you shut up, Mom? Oh my god. Yeah, guys, let me know, who do you think will win the Stanley Cup this season? I personally think that Vegas will win the Cup this season, although I would rather, well, I'd say, I'd rather Ovechkin and the Capitals win the Stanley Cup, because I think that would be absolutely awesome to see Ovi finally get his ring. But either way, no matter what team loses, it's going to be kind of sad for whichever team loses. Like, it's going to hurt. It's going to suck to see either team lose, but it's also going to be so awesome to see either team win. So it'll be interesting to see. Like I said, though, what my prediction is, I'd say Vegas in 5 or 6 games in the final, and then next season Vegas doesn't even make the playoffs. That is what my prediction is. Write it down if you guys want right now. 9:49 p.m. Tuesday, May 29th, 2018. That is my prediction, that Vegas will win the Cup this season and not even make the playoffs next season. Why? I don't know. I just have a hunch. I just did defenseman in America for 2 weeks, which, to be honest, I didn't really mean to do, but whatever, I guess it's fine. So, yeah, like I said, guys, let me know in the comments below, who do you think will win the Stanley Cup. And I think I'm one of the only YouTubers, to be honest with you guys, that did not do a Vegas franchise mode this year. Although, will I do one next year? Probably not. Maybe, though. I think it would be more interesting to do one next year because it's their sophomore year. We're on a 4-game losing streak heading into the new year, so that's not very good. We had a better record, but we have an 18, 13, and 7 record, which isn't bad. But yeah, like I was saying, guys, let me know. Let me know who will win the Stanley Cup, and let me know what you think about my prediction of Vegas winning the Cup and then missing out on the playoffs next season. So we are currently holding the wild card spot in the Atlantic. Toronto has a game in hand on us, and they are 3 points behind on us as well. So that's worrying. So I'd say we definitely need to do better, and I feel like I'm going to look at some point totals and we'll see what's going on. So Jaspers is not doing very good. Only 23 points this season after having 80 points last season, and he only has 5 goals, where Drouin has 15 goals, 9 assists for 24 points, also not great. And then Nemesnikov with 25 points, leading that top line in points. So I'm not very happy about that. I don't know what I want to do. Like I said, I'm not very happy about that. I might change out that top line. Second line, Tyson Cullimore has 13 goals in the first 38 games, so looking like he's definitely on pace to surpass his goal total of last season, but he only has 2 assists this season, so that's interesting. Cirelli has 24 points, alright, and then Joseph has 18 points. Nice. Taylor Radish with 9 goals, but not a single assist this season so far, so that's not great. Howden with 15 points, okay, he'll probably get to around what he had last season. And then Palat with 18 points as well. Lawrence Lyke so far in his rookie season only has 6 points, not very good. Alexei Lipanov 11 points, and then Richard Panik 11 points as well. So I don't know how I feel about that forward core, to be honest with you guys. Hedman is leading our team in points, doing very good with 34 points in 38 games. Hopefully he can continue that throughout the season. Knock on wood. Ryan Merkley then with 32 points. So our top 2 defensive pairing are leading the team in points. Pat Stillman only has 4 points this season. Calfoot, that pair is just awful. -7 and -8. Okay, well, we're changing it up then. We're going to put it back to how we normally do. So D'Angelo actually was complaining about ice time, so we're going to switch our second pair back to the way it normally is. And to be fair, D'Angelo is doing good on that bottom pair, but now that he's playing with Cal Foot, I think he can do even better. And like I said, guys, I want Cal Foot to surpass the 20-point mark, and I think he most definitely will be able to this season. As for Woolley and Stillman now, if they can hit 10 points, to be honest, I would be happy with that. More than 10 points would be awesome, but at this point, this doesn't look very good. 38 games, and they have a combined 4 points, and all 4 of those points have gone to Pat Stillman. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. Ingram, in 80 overall, he's not doing awful. Rodriguez doing really good as a backup. All right, how's our AHL doing? Ronnie Thomas is a 78. He's doing very good. Let's go and check out players. Should we call up? Wow. Kalle Zibanejad has grown a lot. Wow, okay. Hentonen has grown, and Tuden I don't think grew. Connolly is down, and overall he's not very happy playing in the AHL. I do know that. As for defenseman, Chip Chura, okay. Okay, well, I don't know what... I want to change up that top line, but what do I do? So we could have... We have power forward Jaspers with sniper Drouin and playmaker Nemesnikov, who's not a phenomenal playmaker. Do we have a better playmaker? I was thinking putting Joseph on that top line. Radish, Howden, and Palat. I was very tempted to originally put Palat there, Joseph on the third line, and Nemesnikov on the second line with Cullimore and Cirelli. And you know what? I think I'm going to try that. So our third line now will be... Our top line will now be Jaspers, Drouin, and Palat. Palat has 18 points, so we'll see how that goes. Cullimore, Sorelli, and Nemesnikov will be our new second line. Third line of Joseph, Howden, and Radish. And then our fourth line of Libanov, and Panik. As for defense, the only changes that we are making is our second and third pairing. But like I said, guys, right now our top two defensive pair is leading our team in points with 34 and 32, I think. Was that right? Yeah, 34 and 32. They're also the only players to have surpassed 30 points so far this season as well. So Jasper's, like I said, not doing too great. I'd like for him to at least hit 60 points and 20 goals this season. Let's see if that will happen. Now, out of curiosity, let's go and check the entire league to see. So Forsberg leading the league in points with 49. Tolvanen 48, as well as Tkachuk with 48. Jason Zucker has 46 points. I wonder if he's playing with Ovi. He must be. Let's move down to defense. Well, not. Let's just see. Who's the first defenseman I see? I'm hoping it is Hedman. It is not. Zach Werenski with 36 points in 41 games. So you know what? Why am I doing it like this? Let's just look at defensemen. Alright, so Werenski has played 3 more games than Hedman, and he has 2 more points. So Hedman also has a higher plus-minus. So there is a possibility that Hedman could win the Norris this year, but again, it all depends on how good he does for the rest of the season. Obviously, there's plenty of time left. He could seriously fall off. Christian Juice and Connor Timmins with 30. I've never seen Connor Timmins so high. He's got 99 offensive awareness. Wow, okay. Interesting. Where is the Norris winner in Heiskanen? He has 26 points this season. Interesting. Now, one thing before I head back into the sim, guys, I just want to see. Wow, it's been 22 minutes, and we're only at the new year. I just want to see throughout the entire league, how is our goals for per game? We are not very good by the looks of it. Yeah, we're about the mid-table, so 2.89 isn't bad. Goals against per game, we actually have one of the lowest in the league, bottom 6 for goals against in the league. So that's good, and even with our goaltending, surprisingly, we are still so low. Now, power play percentage. Wow, Minnesota has a good power play. Jesus Christ. We are about the lower end on the power play, so I may want to change up the power play. Let's see. Penalty kill has been awful. Yikes, I saw that. That is actually one of the worst in the league. Okay, so I definitely need to change up our special teams. So that's why I wanted to check that, because I felt like we've lost a lot of games because of our special teams. So let's go and see what I can make changes here for special teams. Let's see. So we've got Nemesnikov, Drouin, and Jaspers. Clearly that is just not working out. So let's try Palat on that line now, and instead of Matthew Joseph, what I wanted to do was put Cullimore on, so let's do that then. Cullimore, Sorelli, and Nemesnikov will then be our second power play, taking Joseph off. So Drouin, Jaspers, Sorelli, Nemesnikov. You know what, yeah, we're going to keep our 4-man the same. As for our penalty kill, how it is doing so bad, Lawrence Like is not great. To be honest, don't know why I have him in there. Let's see, what could I do? Libanov, also not very good. Sorelli, who I believe I normally do have there, isn't that great. Or is decent, I should say. Nemesnikov, let's see, Palat, Panik, no. Joseph, no. As for left wings, Jaspers, who I'm not playing, and I feel like I should be playing. But who would I take off? Howden, no. Cullimore, no. I guess it would be Sorelli, so you know what? We'll take Sorelli off, and we'll put Jaspers on, because he's one of our better... He's possibly the best defensive forward we have. He will also take those face-offs. Then Merkley with Stillman. I have Stillman there because he's got wicked shot blocking and stick checking, but his defensive awareness is not very high, so I think I might change that up. So Hedman, Merkley, Foote, they're all on. D'Angelo, I would say, is the next to go. Ronnie Woolley is good, but I need his defensive awareness to be higher. And then as for the 3-man, we're going to take Stillman off. and put D'Angelo on. And as for Lipanov, he's listed as a depth forward. He really doesn't need to be playing. So let's put Jaspers as our second three-man PK, and Howden as our first. And I think that will be it. So hopefully that is better. Maybe those slight line changes will help us out in the long run. And let's finish off the season now. Well, we'll sim to the deadline, and then we'll see what lines are looking like. See if they're doing, or see if these line changes did make a difference in any way. So we have an 18, 13, and 7 record heading into the new year. So let's see what it's going to look like now. So we win our first game with the new lineups in the first game of the new year, but we lose our second. Now, I'm not going to go game by game. Wow, New Jersey has a very good record, 27, 14, and 7, I think is what that said. It's also a lot of games. I almost did for 2 weeks again. Yeah, 27, 14, and 7. That is a lot of games. That's a lot more than we have played, and these line changes so far are not looking too great. We are looking quite horrendous, to be honest, right now, guys. At this rate, I don't even know if we will make the playoffs with how we are playing. Obviously, if we stay a positive team, we will. Or we could, I should say. Not for sure we will, but I guess it really depends on how good or how many extra time points we can get. But we've lost a lot of games so far here in January, and there's another one. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's the line changes I made that are bad, or if it's just this team not performing very well. Yeah, we had a shit ton of losses in the month of January, which we will go back to, and I believe we're on at least a 3-game, now 4-game losing streak, and I believe they've all but one have been in regulation, so this team is not looking great, and the playoff window for us is closing very, very quickly, guys. And we are just on an absolute monstrous loss streak. There's our first win in, I think, 3 or 4 weeks, which is just horrendous to say or even think about. And that makes me quite sad, and we're right back to losses now, as well as 6-0 loss to Winnipeg and 5-0 loss. So in the past 2 games, we have been shut out and let in 11 goals. And yeah, we're on another 4-game losing streak, guys. Wow, so apparently those line changes did not help at all. And I'm assuming our top 2 defensive pairing has just turned out to be, turned out very poor at the moment. They must not have been doing good throughout these past few games, or throughout the past 2 months, I should say. And yeah, I mean, Syracuse is doing good, so there's one positive, but at this rate, this Tampa Bay Lightning team is definitely not making the playoffs, and to be honest, that sucks. 7-1 victory, that's what I like to see, but that's just not what this team is being right now, and unfortunately, that's what we need them to be. Now, getting on a big point streak or a big win streak here for two weeks at least would really help us getting back into a playoff position, but after making the playoffs 2 seasons in a row, it is not looking very good for your Tampa Bay Lightning, and there's another regulation loss. So in the past 2 months, we won, let's see, how many games have we lost? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 losses in our last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 games. We have 18 losses, and I think only 3 of them gave us a point. So I think that just completely has eliminated the chance of us going to the playoffs this season. We are 7 points behind Toronto now, and Toronto will be the only team we can catch, and Toronto would have to do very badly. Now, I'm glad we did beat Toronto. Obviously, we beat them in our last game, and it was a big victory for us, but I don't see us making the playoffs at this point. I truly do not. So those line changes really did not do great. Jasper's still not doing very good. Drouin still not doing very good, although he'll hit 30 goals again. Palat, I mean, he's not doing bad, but I don't really like him on that top line. Cullimore has surpassed 20 goals. He will more than likely surpass 30 as well. How many shots has he taken this year? He's taken more than he has last season, and we still have 19 games left. He will also surpass his point totals he had last season. Sorelli looks like he'll surpass his point totals. Nemesnikov, not doing great. Radish, really slowed down now without Palat on that line, and that line is very minus full as well. Minus full, I know that's not a word, but don't worry about it. Let me have my dreams. Our bottom six has just been awful defensively. To be fair, Radish and our top line are the only forwards that we have as plus players. As for our defense, I mean, our top two is still doing wicked, which is obviously awesome to see. It must be the goaltending guys, because honestly, those line changes really haven't been bad. Like, by the looks of it, everything has worked out. Cal Foote, with the help of Tony DeAngelo, now has really, really improved in the point category. Ronnie Woolley has 2 goals. That bottom pair is just getting eaten alive, though. 12 points for Pat Stillman, so not as bad as I expected, to be honest. So, could that line hit 20 points then? That is the new goal. As for the goalies, like I said, they must have been awful. Ingram's stats went down, and Rodriguez's stats went very down. Well. What do I do, guys? What do I do? Rodrigue has just under 500 shots. Or, sorry, just under 500 saves. Let's see, how many shots has he faced? Oh, he's let in 51 goals, which is not good. 51 goals in 20 games is not good. Ingram has let in 134 in 48. Yikes. Now, to be honest, I think calling up Ronnie Thomas may not be a bad option. He's doing so well in the AHL, it's really hard to not call him up. You know what? We're going to make some roster moves, guys. We're going to call up Ronnie Thomas. Why is Drouin not happy? I don't know. Let's see. Should I call up some other players? And Oleg Tutin, 98. Offensive awareness is wicked. Alex Killorn, I'd rather not. Oli Hentonen, 31 points this season. He's good defensively. He's decent offensively. He's a good two-way forward, I would say. He is listed as a fourth liner, so really. And also, without Boris Kachuk in the lineup this season, seems to really be affecting us, although he doesn't really put up points in the NHL. Connolly, Kosorankov, Quack, Paquette isn't playing, right? No, I believe not. Volkov, Sabinajad, Chipchura. Okay, well, I am very tempted to call up Tutin and Hentonen. Should I, though, is the question. I don't think I'm going to, but I am for sure going to call up Ronnie Thomas, and to be honest, I'm going to send down Connor Ingram. Ooh, I can't do that then. What can I send down? Rodrigue. I'm going to have to send down Rodrigue because I really don't want Connor Ingram to get picked up on waivers, and that sucks because I kind of want Ronnie Thomas to be our starter, and he would be our starter with just because he's higher overall than Rodrigue. So unfortunately, Rodrigue then will be called down to the AHL, and Ronnie Thomas will be up in the NHL now. So let's go and edit those lines, and like I said, I'm going to try out. Yeah, I'm sorry, Rodrigue, that you got called down. Trust me, I didn't want to call you down, but you're listed as a minor starter, so why not play you in your actual position? As for Ronnie Thomas, I know he is listed as a minor starter as well. But, like I said, I want to try Thomas as starter, so I'm going to go turn auto-rotate goalies off really quickly, and we're just going to roll with, I don't want to go to edit player, my bad, guys. I'm just going to roll with What's his name? Fuck me. Ronnie Thomas? Is that what it was? Yeah. Thomas, Ronnie, yeah, Ronnie, I know that. We'll roll with him for a little bit. Let's see, where is auto-rotate goaltenders? Auto-rotate goalies will be off for potentially the rest of the season. I'm not sure. We shall see. Alright, let's go back. And let's put Ronnie Thomas as the starting goaltender now at the deadline. Let's see, goalies. Ronnie Thomas will be the starter, guys. Yeah, we're going to do that. Alright, so we're going to try that. We're going to see how he does. And if he does wonders for us, then of course, that will be amazing. Whether we will make the playoffs this season or not, though, I truly do not think so now. I just want to go through really quickly, mainly just to look for, obviously, Tampa drafted players that we could trade for, which means we go to Florida, essentially, and San Jose, and New York, actually. So, Stamkos, not on the block, unfortunately. And what about the Rangers? Do they have... They do not. They do not have Vasilevsky on the block. Then we move to San Jose. Kucherov, also not on the block. So, no trades. So, obviously, more than likely, once again. Yeah, well, I say more than likely, obviously, no trades to made happen. So, let's sim. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we'll give Ronnie Thomas 6 starts in the NHL, and we'll see how he does. A shootout loss in his debut, a 5-2 win, so a win in his second game. But, guys, we are going to need to get as many points as we possibly can here, because I truly do not see us making the playoffs unless we get all the points we possibly can. I really struggled getting to the Dell there, oh my. And there's another win, and now in a back-to-back, we have a win. Ingram goes in net. We have, actually, no. Okay, so you know what? We're going to stick with Ronnie Thomas. He is 5-0-1 right now in his NHL debut. Okay, so very good stretch so far for Ronnie Thomas. And we are on a 6-game point streak, and like I said, we are going to need that. And we play Toronto later in the month. That is a game that we have to win. So, let's see. We are now tied for Toronto in games played and in points. So, what are the chances? Oh, Jesus. Actually, neither of us may even make the playoffs. Both wildcard spots are in the Metro right now. So, not only do we need to surpass Toronto, we also need to surpass Columbus. Now, we do have 2 games less played than Columbus, which helps us out, but I don't know, guys. I truly do not know how that is going to work out. So let's go back to goalies. Let's see, Ronnie Thomas with a 940 save percentage. Awesome to see that. So, like I said, we are going to roll with Thomas, and we're going to see if he can lead us to victory and to the playoffs this season. We will sim to at the end of the month, and like I said, we need to win any game we possibly can here. So far with Thomas, we have only lost out on 1 point, which is phenomenal, of course. That is just absolutely crazy. I'm not going to lie. Obviously, yeah, of course, since I said it, we'll obviously lose there. Now on a 2-game losing streak, but we eliminate that, or we get over that slump with a win over Buffalo. But we lost to Columbus, which is not ideal. Columbus is a team we needed to beat. Montreal, we lost to. Toronto, we need to beat, and we lost to them as well. So we now have a record of 33, 33, and 11 heading into the last 5 games of the season. Will we be able to make the playoffs? I don't think so. We are 2 points behind Toronto, who has one game more played than us, but we have the same amount of games played as Ottawa, and they have 1 more point than us. And there's just no way. We need to get, out of the next 5 games, we need to get 10 points, and that would mean the Islanders or the Blue Jackets couldn't get a single point in the last 4 games of the season, which ultimately means we are not making the playoffs this season, is essentially what I am trying to say, which really, really sucks. I mean, there's a chance, but I don't see it. So let's go through the final 5 games of the season. Keller and Nemesnikov, Mankari, Drouin, and Butcher. Will we lose this game? And we do lose this game, and I think that officially ruins any hopes of us making the playoffs. So, yeah, that was a disappointing season, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I expected better things out of this team, and watch, we'll go on a 4-game win streak to end the season. And yeah, there it is. We have failed to make the playoffs this season after making it 2 straight seasons. So I guess all that we can hope for is some losses to get us a better lottery pick. And like I said, of course, we'll win the last 4 games of the season, and we did, meaning we won't even have that great of a pick heading into the entry draft. So we had 85 points. We aren't going to get a good pick whatsoever. Columbus with 90 points missed out on the playoffs. That is awful. That really does suck. Oh my god. That Pacific Division was unreal. Holy shit. To be fair, the Central was really good too. 5 teams, all with 97 plus points. And then 7 out of the 8 teams in the Pacific, all with 87 more points. That is crazy. The President's Trophy went to Florida this season. Does that mean they will lose in the 3-peat, or lose heading for the 3-peat? That should be interesting to see. The NHL regular season has ended. Let's go and look at some stats before I end this episode in very much, or a lot, I guess I should say, a lot of disappointment. Let's head on over to see how our players did. Hedman led our team in points with 60, Drouin with 59, and he wasn't able to hit 30 goals. Neither was Cullimore, unfortunately. Jaspers and Merkley were tied at 52. Not a great season from Jaspers. Not impressed about that. Merkley did good. Obviously, he didn't have as much as he did last season, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, but every season he's had 50 points, 50 or more points, so I'm very happy about that. Actually, that was Ryan Merkley's worst season so far in the NHL. Hedman, though, definitely won't win a Norris this season, unfortunately. Last season was definitely the best season he's had so far in the series, and the best season he's had to get close to a Norris. As for our other forwards, or players, I should say, Sorelli and Nemesnikov had 49 points. Palat had 47. Cullimore had 43 with 28 goals. Not too bad. D'Angelo had 38. Joseph had 34. Foote with 34. That is awesome to see, guys. He did way better than I expected. Howden with 26. Panik with 22. Stillman with 20. Radish with 19, Lipanov with 15, Like with 14, Woolley with only 4. So, you know, they were 4 goals, but I'm happy because I asked for that bottom pair to get 20 points, and they did, although they were a combined minus 34, sorry. That's not good. Drouin led our team in points with 29, and Cullimore with 22, and Cullimore with 28, and Palat with 22. Only 3 20-goal scorers this season. Most assists went to Hedman with 51. He was the only one who surpassed 40 assists. Nobody else did on the team. Best plus-minus went to Hedman with a plus 16, and the worst plus-minus went to Cal Foote with a minus 22. Most penalty minutes on the team was, I'm assuming, Cal Foote. No, it was Todd Jaspers with 58. Most power play goals went to Drouin with 10. Most power play points went to Drouin and Jaspers with 17. Shorthanded goals, Hedman, Jaspers, and Cullimore were all tied at 1. Shorthanded points, Cullimore and Hedman were tied at 2. Game-winning goals went to Cullimore. He led our team in game-winning goals with 7, not too bad. Shot leader on the team was Drouin with 229, then Jaspers with 228. Best shooting percentage on our team was Cullimore with a 16.2. Our Iron Man was Hedman with 25.33, 1 second more than Ryan Merkley. Very funny to see. Most face-offs went to Drouin with 1,032. Best face-off percentage was also Drouin with 50.4. Most hits on the team, I would assume Jaspers. No, Hedman. Hedman, Jaspers, Foot, and Radish, all over 135 hits. Most block shots went to D'Angelo with 109 and Calfo with 105. Hedman was one shy of 100. Okay. Most giveaways on the team was Stillman with 71. Most takeaways was Jaspers with 73. Could Jaspers be a Selke contender? Maybe. He had 18 block shots, which isn't great, but he had 193 hits, only 45 giveaways, which isn't that bad, but 73 takeaways, plus he had a pretty good face-off percentage for how many he did take. He played a lot as well. I think he might have let our forwards in ice time. Yes, he did. I don't know. He didn't have a great season point-wise, but maybe he could be in the Selke conversation. So, actually, last but not least, let's go look at the goaltenders. Ingram with a 902, Thomas with a 910, but he's up to an 80. Okay, so he's actually listed as a backup goalie now. And then Rodrigue with a 905. Unreal how disappointing our goaltending was in the latter half of the season. UC Saros led the league in wins as a goaltender with 44. Carter Hutton more than likely will win the Vezina this season with, wow, he's a 79 overall. It could go to Samsonov, but I would say it's going to go to Carter Hutton. Unreal. Absolutely unreal. Let's go to the entire league I meant to do. Rookie skaters, who led the league? Tyson Letowski, I believe. Oh, no, he wasn't the first overall. He was the third overall selection from the last draft. Nolan Foote, a rookie this season. What a beast. Of course he's in Florida. So now not only do we get to have a rivalry with Florida just because how many times we play them, and 2 times we made the playoffs, both times we've played them, we now also have the Cal Foote brother, Nolan Foote, to deal with as well. That's going to be great. That is honestly going to be awesome. Rookie that led the rookie goal leader was Nolan Foote as well with 20 goals. Interesting. Rookie goaltenders. Any good ones? Alexis Gravel, who is now 23, but not too bad. 23, but he's an 83 overall. So unfortunately, we didn't get to draft him. But if you look at it, Ronnie Thomas is technically a better goalie than Alexis Gravel or Alexi Gravel. An 862 save percentage and a 4.69 GAA. Wow, that is awful. I do not want to back out of the player stats. How long has this video been? It's almost been 50 minutes. Yikes. Let's hurry up, guys. I'd like to end this before 50 minutes. So, Eli Tolvanen will lead the league in points, and by the looks of it, goals as well. Yes, he will. Eli Tolvanen had him a season. Holy shit. Absolutely unreal. So, McDavid and Stamkos were tied second with 93 points, and then Crosby and Eichel were tied in third for 92 points. 54 goals for Tolvanen, Tkachuk, and Crosby with 51. Jost, 49. Ovechkin, 48. Hans Rietzel with 46 this season. Nice. Yeah, there was quite a few 40-goal scorers as well. Let's actually, best plus-minus in the league went to Steven Stamkos with a plus 46. Unreal. Let's go look at defensemen now. Like I said, highly unlikely Hedman will be able to win a Norris this season. Yeah, definitely not. It's probably going to go to Clefbaum. Maybe, we shall see. But yeah, very good point-wise for defensemen this season. Maxwell Gilden had the most goals as a defenseman at 19. Most assists went to Oscar Clefbaum with 58. Best plus-minus as a defenseman went to Gus Despair at 42, who I did see earlier. That's why I already started with saying his name. Time on ice, the time on ice leader, by the looks of it, was Troy Stecher. Yes, it was. 27 minutes. Wow. Troy Stecher played a lot of minutes this season. He was the only defenseman to surpass 27 minutes. All right, guys. Well, that is going to be it from me in this one. In the next one, we will sim through the AHL playoffs. Not only will we do the AHL playoffs, we will also do the draft, of course, and hopefully we won't get an absolutely awful selection in the draft, but I'm sure we will. So like I said, guys, that'll be it from me in this one. Hopefully you did all enjoy, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.